So I have my water in case my voice goes off. But anyway, we are looking at the dates of the 3rd until the 6th, because I just want to make the video shorter than 3 hours, because the last time it was almost 3 hours. And so today I'm trying to have it to be less than that. Remember, you are reading from your ascendant or from your sun sign, because I have tested and seen that the sun sign works better than the moon sign in terms of my predictions. Like, for some people, of course, they recommend the moon sign, but in terms of my readings, please use the sun sign more than your moon sign. As always, the ascendant is applicable. Now, the way that you will feel it is according to your chart, according to your aspects. For those who are running a high karma, they definitely feel what I'm going to say even more than the others, and then the others, they feel it less. But regardless, one way or the other, you should be able to see some of these things happen in your life or in your chart. So this is Mita. Welcome to Synastry Expert. You can visit my website to learn more about the office that I have here and the projects that I'm running at the moment. The date is the 4th, and it's actually 1 o'clock in the morning Paris time, and therefore obviously in the western far west it's still the 3rd, and in the far east they would have already been probably during the day on the 4th. So that's the time zone that's happening. But right now it is 1 Paris time in the morning on the 4th. So let's get into the predictions. So starting with the Aries, of course, everything is almost the same in terms of the big planets. And of course, what has changed is the moon, right? So with that, obviously, everything else has slightly changed, because the planets do move. They have to move from one position into the other. Now, what I do see from the 3rd, I'm going to say the 3rd because, the far west, as I said, they're still on the 3rd. So what I do see happening from the 3rd until the 5th for Aries. So basically here, they are favorable things that you are getting in terms of communication. And however, there could be some agitations in terms of maybe you get a fine or something like that, but there could be some information or communication that is also agitating to you, or hindrance of that information. But what I do see, this is actually it would be to prepare you for another role or to strengthen you, because it's with Jupiter, and Jupiter is favorable to Aries ascendant. So whatever hindrance or annoyance that could come up, in terms of communication and commuting as well, commuting from one place to another, I see that for Aries ascendants or signs or sun sign. It could just be to test you or to strengthen you, or to teach you like a lesson on maybe how to give more attention to stuff, reflect more, be more attentive, plan well, don't use impulse, don't be too impulsive, so those are the lessons that would come about. But as I said last time, particularly at this time, when it's facing Mars, be careful of accidents and things that are held by hand, weapons and all of these things, due to the moon being in the third house, activating your Lord, which is Mars, right? So, but other than that, I do see that at this time, so there could be, obviously there's a lot of authoritative things happening as well and being activated, definitely because of that moon there. I do see that so if you are placed in a setting whereby you need to lead, or maybe you were chosen for a leadership role, I do see that there could be some changes that are being introduced, or maybe, as I said, hindrance, because I do see some delays. So maybe you've been expecting to receive a certain confirmation, and then it was delayed a bit, and when it does maybe get delivered, and then it's a bit of turn down, or something that is not really making you feel happy, that those things, right? So be careful of temper at this time, because there is a high chance now of feeling some temper. I do see that, so be careful about that. I do see that there is actually, and there could be a hidden strategy. If you are under an authority, then that authority has this hidden strategy. So maybe it could be hidden regarding to your position, hidden regarding to a law, hidden regarding to a policy, and which would be implemented and which would impact quite a lot of people. I do see that everything needs to be done with moderation, definitely. And because that moon in the third house is activating communication and media, you could find that some people do get some attention or some communication from the media. So obviously, depending on your life and your chart, right, the scale goes from small to big, right, depending on your current situation. However, I do see though that at this time it's very difficult to know plans. It's difficult to know what the authority figures are thinking. If maybe you've submitted a business plan to a government, maybe you're trying to get some funding from your boss, from your authority or parent. It's difficult to know right now what they're thinking, what's their move. So there's that secrecy happening and mystery happening, right? I do see that. I also do see at this time that actually in general, again, when it comes to the leaderships, countries, leaderships, presidents, they are also at this time moving with a lot of scheming, and there's what I do see. I should be talking about this in the global part, but because I'm already talking about the laws, so that's just came into my mind. I do see that there's a lot of secret alliances that are being formed now, and I think maybe because it is and everything is alleged, by the way. Of course, this is astrology, and whatever we say here, it should be taken just as, research, for research purposes only, theoretical work based on astrology. And so what I do see here is that there are secret alliances right now that are being formed by countries following, the capture of the president of Venezuela by the United States of America. However, I also do see what is clear here, that these some of these alliances were alliances in waiting, meaning that they had already been formed, and now it's like it's time now to execute whatever plans they had been placed for such events, or in case such events happen, right? I do see those secret alliances now. I do see calls being made in between countries, talking about this, discussing this. I do see a whole lot of strategic messages being sent through, because we must remember that Jupiter is retrograde in Mercury. Mercury is about communication, but Jupiter is the leader, the law planner, the law like the law person, like the originator of the laws. So I do see a lot of strategic messages right now being sent in secret, in a very harsh manner. And I do see that some countries could also be getting into a whole lot of research right now, trying to get a lot of information, collect a lot of strategic information right now, because what I do see happening is that some are panicking in terms of paranoia. They are panicking right now. It's like they don't know if the fate of Venezuela is coming soon for them, or because of that they are affected. So I do see a lot of paranoia. I do see a lot of gathering of intelligence right now, literally right now. And what I also do see, since I'm already now talking about the global stuff, when I was doing the Nicki Minaj video, I actually forgot to mention that I do see that between in 4 months, in 4 months time to 5 months and a half, so that period minimum of beginning in the 4 months to come up until 5 months and a half, I do see that she would have to take care of her physical body at this time, and make sure, even if she's traveling, she's fully guarded. If she's at home, she's fully guarded. Whatever she's eating, she's fully guarded. So I do see a need for her physical structure to be highly protected right now within that time, as I said. So if I'm calculating now, it is the January, so it would be around that period that I said I see a lot of sabotage. So around May, so maybe beginning April, so April, May, June, that time, July, she would need to literally protect herself, like not just the mental but also the physical. So let's get back into the Aries. I just got taken off because I mentioned the law, and then many things came into my mind. So going back to Aries, sorry, I got carried away. So what I also do see in terms of your love life at this time, it is that your spouse, you and your spouse could be maybe debating control, or showing some subtle control over each other, or wanting to take control somehow over each other, or maybe it could also be just about decisions that need to be placed, whereby one of you could feel like they are being controlled, or being told what to do. So I do see some storage of emotional expression as well. Or maybe if it does get expressed, then it's like all loud or out there, and just big expressions at this time. I do see that it could be helpful to take some retreats together, some journeys if it's possible, vacations at this time if it's possible. However, you would continue obviously to be careful, as well as for spouse actually during travels, particularly during travels or when surrounded by people of foreign nature. So that would be needed to be explored. I do see a need to have some access. It's like whatever you're exploring, you want to do it, and obviously be careful of some laziness coming in due to the Jupiter being in that third house. Now, when it comes to the 5th until the 7th, because then the moon would move into your 4th house at this time, and the moon here is going to be 100% comfortable, because this is an own sign, own house here, and therefore favorable for you in terms of getting some clarity regarding to your domestic life at this time. However, due to the Pluto that is opposite this moon, there could be some outbursts or expressions, outward expressions of feelings, emotions, and some challenges as well, particularly to motherly figures, feminine energies, female figures within the home. At this time, they would be tested definitely by the Pluto, trying to get some changes there in the domestic life. So do take care of that part. And what I also do see at this time is actually an activation of some secret enemies, but enemies of power, enemies of authority, because of the same reason that Pluto there being activated at this time. So because of the Capricorn nature, where Pluto is based, and their actions would be so slow and so cunning, like difficult to detect, difficult to see the harm come in. So there's that as well. So just be careful, and of course continue for those who are in the spiritual awakening journey, because having your moon in your 4th house of water sign, it would be able to benefit, from those healing type of activities or journeys, And what I also do see is at this period would be that this time it becomes a bit these days actually becomes like from the 5th until the 7th, it becomes quite critical for quite a lot of people at this time. But for you, it's mostly authority, law, legal things. So be careful of that. If you're driving, make sure you drive properly so that you don't get a fine. Because I do see, as I said, even before, but because of that ninth house being also still here, and making an in conjunction to that moon, still, because it's vehicles, so still be careful of fines, and of course be careful of things breaking at home, or fire, coming through. And I also do see that at this time there could be a sudden thing that you have to take care of within the home or relating to family at this time. So it would be sudden, need for attention, to give attention to those things. So be careful of that. And what I also do see is that you would have strength as well. As I said, moon in its own house, favorable. It could also give you strength to at this time accomplish whatever you want to accomplish within the home, within the house, in all of these things. But at the same time, it would definitely take your energy, because because of Aries are physical, like outward, and a moon is mostly internal, like mind and emotions. So it would definitely require your attention, whatever work has to be done within the home, within the domestic life, or with family, right? And obviously it would need for you to make some sacrifices here. So maybe instead of being alone or doing your own thing, then you have to spend some time for the family. Definitely. I keep thinking about things as I go. Going back to the global stuff, I also do see at this time, particularly the 5th until the 6th, there would be a celebrity, and this celebrity is well respected or well known, so it could be in terms of politician or in terms of entertainment, but they would be known. I do see so they an artist, like they sing, or they are in the music industry, like maybe they vocal, or they in the band or whatever. But I do see maybe, or they're a writer, but they are in the music industry, and they are known, obviously for what they do, popularity and all of these things. So I do see is one of them being celebrated at this time and highlighted. However, due to the Ketu that is in the entertainment house or sign of Leo, of the arts, I do see that there could also be another celebrity who is at this time experiencing some tough times, like violence or things of that nature. So yeah, we would have these two stories, because these are two different things. Or maybe if it's one person, then they did one thing, and maybe they're at the stage, they're performing, and then something else happens to them. So just care needs to be taken at this time. I do see, particularly for you at this time, just need to be to slow down, some of the things, because and don't be tempted at all by shortcuts or people offering you too good to be true type of things at this time, because I do see those would be activated right now without having to go into the detail, as it is quite detailed. Now, I also do see the capacity of being able to manage, like literally if you're a manager at a workplace, and then you become empowered to do your thing here. If you are at a manager in terms of activities or whatever, I do see, or even at home, because a lot of people, like parents who stay at home, they are like managers. So I do see here some careful management of whatever you have to manage. If you're managing finances, you're careful about that. So I do see that the vigilance is also set, like whereby you are naturally vigilant or taking care at this time, because there could be some what you call it, there could be some call towards your morality, if you are, particularly if you're a boss or a leader, whereby people are saying, are you moral? Are you doing the right things? Are you showing the right direction? Or are you manipulating stuff, or making things appear like the way they are, but they're not? So what I basically see here is that you are capable to use your words at this time as a tool, or words are used against you as a tool. Again, going back to the Jupiter in that third house. So this is what I see here. And I also do see that at the same time, there could be like a need for you to defend your stance, whereby you feel like if you don't defend yourself or your stance, whatever it is, you may fail. There's that fear that comes in that says, if I'm not careful enough, I'm going to stumble and fall, right? Sorry, I have to drink the water. So then it also means that at this time, particularly between the 5th and the 6th now, not like the 7th, between the 5th and the 6th directly, at this time it is a good time to launch a whatever you have to launch, your project, your program, or your plans. You can launch them now, because then they would be highly successful. Because remember, you do have your Mars in the 9th house of luck. So those who are determined to move forward, absolutely wonderful day to launch your things. Now, I also do see at this time that there is there could be some conflict between you and your boss, or people who are higher than you, or the government. So again, whatever you do, be careful. Administration wise, when it comes to your government, be careful. All of these things, right? So with that said, maybe at this time, Mr. Donald Trump or his country could also make another big event, like as they did with Venezuela now, or an announcement or an intention to do something similar. So I see that. So thank you, Aries. Now, when it comes to the Taurus, guys, that scale of, life is okay, life is not okay, life is okay, life is not okay, it's still continuing, whereby, some days are good, but some days are not so good. So I also do see at this time that you could be finding some favor towards your resources, or in terms of money, some expansion there, or opportunities to expand these avenues at this time. So I do see that, and I also do see at this time that when it comes to your money, you could be directly involved in either seeking for it, or managing your own assets at this time, or your own opportunities, or direction towards having some resources in your life or enjoying them, right? So you want to be hands-on now. You want to be like to see stuff. But I also do see that you could also be distracted at the same time. Like literally you are, when it comes to your resources, you are like divided for some, Taurus ascendants, whereby you want to help your partner build, but at the same time you want to enjoy, you want to feel good, you want to be pampered, right? You want to be pampered, you want to feel like you also matter in terms of receiving resources and valuables and assets, right? So there's that pull that is happening within these days between the 3rd and the 5th. Now you need a massage. You need a massage. You need to relax. You need a massage. I do see that there is an official announcement of some sort, because the moon is in the house of speech, in the house of things that are said. So there should be an announcement of some sort that you receive, or a directive, a command that you receive at this time. And I also do see that if you, the authority, then you could be obviously issuing these communications, right? But there should be that official decision, official communication being made here with this moon and Jupiter. Because remember, when moon and Jupiter are together, this becomes an authoritative expression, like expression of authority. So I do see that, and obviously it's in Gemini, it's about information altogether. So what is also clear here at this time between the 3rd and the 5th is that, as I said, you're feeling pulled, in between two worlds, and which could also be stretching you in terms of, your decision-making capacity or mental capacity. You feel stretched. You feel like, you should be in two worlds all at once. Again, having your Venus in the 8th house, here with the moon there could be some, be careful of manipulative communication at this time, either from you or from somebody else, so just be mindful. If you're the one who's doing it, be mindful of how others would receive it. And of course, if you're receiving it, then you should find ways to pamper you, like in terms of healing you, giving yourself some comfort, right? I do see that. And then when it comes to actually the same period, there's information that could be revealed about you or about your spouse, which is embarrassing, which is or humiliating, which you would have preferred not to have it known, or your spouse, so that is what's showing here. Now, when it comes to the 5th and the 6th, then the moon, until the 7th, the moon moves into your 3rd house at this time. And what I do see is miscommunication, to some extent, because of how it's done. So it's not what is done, it's not what it's communicated, what it's said. It's about how it's said. So that could be causing some friction, particularly with the people of family or with the people at work. So be careful, of those things. And I also do see that at this time you could also be dealing, with it's highly likely you're the one, with a lot of information at this time, and you're trying to keep it, and there's somebody who must know about it, but then you try to keep it to yourself. So that's highly possible here. So this is what I'm seeing. And I do see that you're this time, like if you're running difficult chart right now, like your chart is heavy, I would be careful of some threatening things, or even like a direct threat whereby somebody threatens you in your face, because there is a high opportunity that is being activated now when it comes to being unlucky, just feeling unlucky at this time. But what is good and best is that for those who are, particularly when the moon is in the third house, for those who have been trying to find some success of some sort, at this time they could be forced into realizing their direction. Are they going the good direction, same direction, or do they need to change the direction now? So I do see that, and definitely careful of manipulative tendencies, whether they're coming from you or from somebody else, but that must be taken care of. So what else do I see for Taurus at this time? Yeah. Yeah, again, that third to the fifth, I see some possible money opportunities coming there. So that's for sure. And your domestic life is basically one of your focuses at this time. That's also for sure. Well, I think I should stop here for now, Taurus. But if I think about something else, maybe I'll add it in the global part. Thank you, Aries. Thank you, Taurus. So now when it comes to the Geminis, so obviously from the 3rd until the 6th, and remember reading from ascendant or sun sign, the moon, is still on your ascendant for sure, and putting a lot of pressure for sure, and a lot of pressure from authorities, a lot of pressure from leaders or preachers, like people who have the ability to make laws, rules, religion, because of the Jupiter that is on you, because it requires you to grow up a bit, right, to mature, and it's retrograde. So of course some of the things from the past, they could also be coming back now, and some accusations for sure, some blames for sure continue, like I said the last time. Now what becomes clear for the 4th until the 5th for the Geminis, like this becomes absolutely clear. There could be some manipulation that is done against you at this time, and it's highly possible that it's people who have resources, or it could be relating to resources at this time, or also information or skill that you might have, might be exposed to, but definitely hidden agendas, because moon is just pretty manipulative. And it's for some Geminis, due to the Mercury, like opposite, supporting you. There could also be honor at the same time. That authority that is literally on your case, they could also honor you as well. So there could be some honor for others, and then for those who are running difficult charts, lots of manipulations around or against you, blames, accusations for sure. I do see some spiritual calling for many Geminis due to the Jupiter being on the ascendant. And this spiritual calling, it is definitely for, to enable the Jupiter to work properly on you, so that you are an agent of help and healing to other people. So this is what I see. Now, obviously, having moon here could also trigger some rules and regulations that you have to follow, or if you the leader, then you have to place onto others. So that is triggered at this time. I also do see that there could be communication that is said. Actually, you could be saying it because this is you, or it could be said it through you. So maybe through using you in terms of actions, or literally giving you a script on what to say, and it's going to be directed to the people. So obviously more people, more than two people, and depending on your chart, it grows with the scale. The bigger your karma is, then obviously the bigger the audience is, right? So I do see that. Now the Mars in your 7th house does create some hostility, and this hostility could be gathering other people to be against you, being competitive against you, because Mars is there. But at the same time, what I do see is that they could be winning for the first step, but as the time goes, then they would need to release you. They would need to give you your freedom back due to the Jupiter that is on you. So probably, for example, the other guy, the other president of Venezuela, is a Gemini ascendant, like I showed in my shorts earlier. And for example, after Jupiter goes straight, then he could be released, or even just prior, like towards the end of his retrogression, because definitely there would be a need to give freedom, some freedom, right? It's either the freedom must be given by you because the Jupiter is on you, or you in later on when the Jupiter is going forward again, you get your own freedom as well. So that is highly likely for this president. So we'll see towards the end of the retrogression, the bigger changes that would happen at this time, definitely for sure. So when it comes to other things for the Geminis, it's definitely you definitely need to balance between your learning. Like when you learn, you ought to learn more the higher stuff now, like not the basic stuff anymore. It's like you are already given the basic stuff and now you need to advance. So obviously if you are still in college, like in university, then at this time it would be incredible for you, or easy for you to advance, to more difficult parts of the course. But at the same time, care needs to be taken here because mistakes could be made. Like I said, a lot of mistakes could be easily made in terms of what you're learning, in terms of what you are processing, as well in terms of information itself. Now, self-control is highly demanded, highly required for Geminis at this time, because you have all this technical knowledge. You have both the technical knowledge and the general knowledge, right? So because of that, there could be some agitation, obviously, becoming, having the moon here, and therefore the application of that technical knowledge or that philosophical knowledge then gets skewed. You make mistakes, basically. That's the blunt way to say it. So just be careful about that. But at the same time, I do see you being capable of mastering the spiritual side of life, or if you are into tourism, then exploring, then you're able to tour and visit countries so easily, right? So I do see that. I do see some sort of superiority when it comes to you that people see, even if it's like a small audience of 2 people, they can see some sort of authority coming to you. But because of the moon again, this authority of yours is challenged, is blamed, is critiqued, all of these things, right? That's seen here. Now, the trick here is to get other people to comply, to move towards the direction that you want, or to react. So that's how you basically deal with this moon transiting here. So it's literally just deciding on how to have people move and do stuff. I also do see that because Jupiter on Gemini is also about technical skill, as I said, but it's also about technical gadgets, like things that are held by hand. And having moon here, there could be some sort of a lot of back and forth that you're doing, maybe by text, by phone, maybe on your, by call on your phone or email, lots of that coming in now, lots of notifications coming in now. So I do see that. But of course, obviously, moon, manipulation, Gemini, careful that you don't manipulate others through the information that you know, or being manipulated as well. So there's that to be watchful about. I also do see that there could be some, because moon is here with Jupiter, so there could be a stance that you need to to stand up for, something that you believe in, that you need to defend yourself. So you are either defending yourself from your spouse, or together with the spouse you are defending yourself, obviously, or it is because other people must defend themselves from you. But there's a stance of defense now because of that Jupiter and the moon. Now, what is clear here is a betrayal. Definitely some betrayal. So it could also be highly somebody who's intimate to you, somebody who's very close to you, who's known, or maybe somebody you've shared a meal with, even if you're not close, but you're acquaintances, but it's somebody that you have interacted with. I do see this betrayal, and what is also clear here is that you need to sustain yourself, because moon is about resources and it's on Gemini. So you need to sustain yourself. You need to find ways to make resources, to make money, to make a life for yourself, some comfort for yourself. So you're thinking about that. You're thinking about plans, how to increase my resources, and Jupiter being retrograde can also make you think about, past plans that you've had, past business plans that you had, things or money that you saved a long time ago and you didn't want to touch it. So you think about it today, because then when the moon moves into your second house, then this is where there could be opportunities really now being introduced to you, being given directly, like maybe you get that notification that money has come through, or that business opportunity has come through, or that contract that is going to give you millions of dollars has come through, so there's that coming up as well. Now, what I do see as well is that you would need to align, particularly when it's like the moon is in the second house, you would need to align with align your plans with your spouse, which could be tricky at this time, because I also do see some domestic obligations coming up. So maybe something that needs to be taken care of, when it comes to the home, it does come up at this time, and mostly it's like a problem, like an issue that you need to deal with. So maybe maybe your plug breaks and you have to replace it, stuff like that, right? And at the same time, you are really thinking about your public life as well, or there is something said publicly about you that is making you cautious, is making you highly aware, right? More than you would have enjoyed it. So when it comes to, basically, when the moon goes into your second house, things are, yes, as I said, opportunities to come, but at the same time, there's a lot of effort that would need to be placed literally towards everything at this time. So thank you, Gemini. So then when it comes to the Cancer, as I said, some sort of exhaustion, but at the same time, there are changes that you need to make, which I see here, and they are regarding, to how much you would get, like your profits, your revenues. These are the changes that you should be thinking about, or you are already thinking about and working towards making plans towards them. I also do see between the 4th and the 5th some sort of, you're tired but you're hopeful. You're tired but you're hopeful, and at times you don't even know why you feel a bit of hope, regardless of your emotions, regardless of your feelings, and some of you could be analyzing everything now. You're analyzing your dreams, you're analyzing the decisions that you've made, you're facing right on, all the problems. But of course, as I said, careful of expenditure, high expenditure here. For the Cancer now, what I do see for the same period between the 4th and the 5th is that there could be some discontinuation of some sort. So it could be a discontinuation of a project, or it could be a discontinuation of a relationship in terms of communication with somebody that and you find out that you can't contact them, or they're not available, or some discontinuation of a link, to other people. So this is showing in the chart. I also do see that, as I said, you could be feeling tired, so you need to relax, like I said even 2 days ago. Right, so I do see this need for you to calm down, to relax, to take things easy, right? And at the same time, between the 4th and the 5th, it does show now that you could also be contemplating some of your problems, like regarding how to solve your problems. And it could also be relating maybe to your debts, or some sort of case for those who are running the legalities at this time. This becomes one of the things that you're thinking about, or that you have to resolve, and most of you do find a solution at this time, actually. And because of your 6th house being activated, so obviously that comes up as well. Now, because Moon is in the 12th house, or it is in the house of secrecy, like I said the last time, keep some of the things as a secret. And so then what I do see, as the time, as the Moon goes into your 1st house, which is your ascendant, at this time, definitely you may feel revived, you may feel rejuvenated, you may feel like you are in health, right? And because this is your Lord, so obviously it's going to make sure that if you're feeling down, you're now feeling fed, you're feeling nurtured, you're feeling pampered, you're feeling rejuvenated, right? Trying to make you feel like on a go. But obviously, due to the Pluto that is opposite the Moon at this time, some people could be just ticking bombs, whereby they just, the power that is ticking on its own, and it's just awaiting, for a reaction from you, something like that, right? So to be mindful of that there could be some power challenges, but the ambition here would be to have an achievement of some sort being seen by the public, like I said last time. So it's coming up again because of this 7th house axis here. And what I also do see is that when it comes to the spirit of the 5th to the 7th, there could also be some tools that you need to improve yourself. So for some it could be maybe your studio, whereby you renovate your studio, or you renovate your home, your car, you revamp it, you take maintenance on it, something that will make your life more comfortable. Obviously also, and mostly relating to what you have, what you own, your assets, your things that you use. And now what is happening is that because of that Pluto axis again, there for you, there could be known enemies, like somebody who you know, and they just keep bugging you, and you know that you have to deal with them at this time direct. So I also do see what that power, it could also be simply just between you and your spouse, because the 7th house is also your spouse. So not necessarily like an outsider. It could also be simply just your spouse as well. at this time. So what could be benefiting you in these days is definitely some maybe advice that you get from your family lineage, like in terms of maybe your ancestor speaks to you through, some creation, some creativity, some symbol, all right, some symbolism. But at the same time, the family members in the physical form could be confusing to you, or could be, even if they're trying to give you an advice, it's just not a good advice, it's just a bad advice, and they don't do it intentionally. It's just how things are. Because I do see at this time that your family could be also facing, like the family as a whole could be facing some trauma, or maybe some victimization, like some sort of a victimization whereby maybe a family member, they have experienced a traumatic experience, and you as a family, you are aware of that. Yes, I do see some destabilization within the family lineage at this time, which calls for balance to be restored for sure. And for some Cancer ascendants, I do see that going back to the 3rd and the 5th, there could be some information that you also lose, not only just a link maybe to somebody. Maybe you could also lose information that you've been working on. Let's say maybe you've been piling some document and you just cannot find that important document, or that important file on your computer, or something relating to that. So it's not always like just about person. It could also be about a thing, like what you've been working on, and you can't find the documents, right? So that's also possible. And I do see that between, again, the 3rd and the 5th, your home life needs your attention at this time. Something at home, family, domestic, which will continue into the 5th until the 7th. Yeah, that's what I see. And what else do I see for Cancer ascendant at this time? Check. Yeah, if you're feeling not so well, you just need to make sure you get you book an appointment with your doctor. That's all I can say. Anyway, thank you, Cancer. Now, when it comes to the Virgos, remember we're reading it from your ascendant or your sun sign. And I'm reading it from the 3rd because the far west is still on the 3rd until the 7th. Now, what becomes a continuation between the 3rd and the 5th is some challenges that you need to deal with. Okay, so it's like normal life that needs normal solutions and thinking beyond your situation. I do see that at this time the moon will still be in your 10th house where we left off, and with Jupiter, of course. So So there could also be here a challenging activity or action, not only from your boss like the last time I said, but it could also be from a governing body. Here I do see that that you would need to respond to or talk to, right? And could be linking to home life, family. But what becomes critical now, or what changes now, is that your boss at work or your authority figure, whatever, they could be in access of information, whereby they're handling a lot of information. So not only focusing on you, but also focusing on other people. I do see that at this time, your demeanor could be challenged. Your demeanor could be challenged at this time. So, when it comes to the moon moving into your 11th house, and this becomes even more difficult now, particularly when it comes to the things of the family, to the things of the home. This becomes highly critical when it comes to the Virgo ascendant or sun sign. So care does need to be taken there, definitely. But what could be relevant in helping your situation is you find a way to communicate with the authorities or with the community around you. So community is friends, community is a literal community, right? Community social media nowadays, whereby minding your communication with them or with the siblings as well could be helpful. So minding it, controlling it, like managing that. There is a need, obviously, to find resources, and you could feel the urge towards that. And for most Virgos, this could be a presentation of those opportunities to find some sort of rewards, right? But rewards that come after a lot of hassle. And what I do see now is that there is some fierce, challenging aspects in terms of your family life. So, those things relating to family, our family life still needs to be managed here and controlled at this time. So obviously family life, as well as our spouse and daughters, if you have daughters, definitely at this time. I do see also that because this is a place of groups and moon is here, there could be a need to either manage how you communicate with groups or being in a group at this time, but there is this awareness that is brought to you. So maybe you could feel some people wanting to control you or control how you are in the group, right? Which could be a bit of an annoyance for you at this time. And which is just... And the thing is that they would be having a good intention. That's the thing. You know, those groups, they would be having good intentions. Your friends would be having good intentions for you, but then somehow it kind of like makes you stumble. It doesn't go well with you. You don't receive well their actions at this time. Maybe it's how they do things, how they move. But even though they have good intentions, it's just not landing pretty well for you. And therefore, at this time, some restraint is needed. Definitely, that's highlighted here. I do see as well at this time that when it comes to your kids, they could be doing quite well. You know, they could be doing quite well and, you know, showing you some achievements. Maybe they come back from school. They're like, oh, mommy, look what I've achieved, right? So there could be some sort of joy coming from your kids and what they're doing, but as well as just your creativity is making you happy in general. And that could be highlighted in terms of how emotional you feel at this time between the 5th and the 7th regarding to this. Now, you could be required at this time to also speak to someone, like sit down with your family member and speak, like have a conversation with them. And it's mostly going to be like an order than a conversation, like so it's maybe going to be like, okay, you have to do that, I do this, you do this part, I do this part. More like telling them what to do, or that is being done to you, whereby you're being told by a family member what to do. So I do see that coming up at this time. So what is also showing now is that when it comes to your creation, you are ambitious, you want to be recognized, you want to be seen. So it could be by your work, by your friends, by whoever, but whatever you're working on in terms of projects and creativity, you are feeling the urge for it to be seen. And you may be feeling very bold, you know, towards making sure that people see what you do, and that your accomplishments are given to you. But, you know, there could be some cheating when it comes to what is owed to you, what is due to you. So there could be some manipulation whereby maybe you were due for a bonus, and then they postpone it, or they don't give you the full amount. Like there's some cheating that I see that will regard to what is owed to you in terms of compliments, in terms of achievement, you know, some goals, right? You get cheated at this time. So what I also do see, you could be okay. So what I also do at this time, particularly between the 3rd and the 5th, you could also be empowered to find innovative solutions, as I said, but then that will prove to your boss or to your authority that you are capable. You know, you are capable. So maybe if you think that they're doubting you, you can also be able to show them that you're capable. And what else do I see for Virgos? I think that's it. obviously keep continuing taking care because of that Mars in your 4th house when it comes to property, things relating to family, traveling, all of that. Other than that, I also do see that you could you need some guidance. You need some guidance, and somebody could be taking advantage of that. Maybe they see that you're in need of guidance, and then they just take advantage of that. So maybe they misuse their authority, like because they can see that you're vulnerable. So they're like, oh, okay, I can also give the guidance, but also make this person does A, B, and C. Right. Thank you, Virgos. For the Libras, because we're reading from the ascendant or the sun sign, at this time I do see between the 3rd and the 5th, I do see a need to again look at your communication, your skills, that continues like a seed. And at the same time, some authority figure, anybody who's got authority over you, they could also be giving you some directives, things to do that, do this, and which could be beneficial at this time, like I said. But now when the moon moves into you could also be lucky, by the way, when it comes to your resources here, of finding new discoveries when it comes to your resources and how to gather those resources and how to supply for yourself. That is also sitting here, and it could be from an unexpected person, whereby they just give you this advice and it works, it clicks. Now, some of you at this time could also be thinking about your belief systems, or weighing them in terms of politics, in terms of religion. Like, is it benefiting you, your beliefs, or are people within your belief system benefiting you? So there's that, and there's a need for protection. So you need to either protect your opinions, or those around you, they want to protect you, but there's a need for protection now, based on beliefs and policies. However, I do see that when the moon moves into your 10th house, between the 5th and the 7th, at this time in your 10th house, it's definitely positive for your image, but at the same time there could also be high demand in high demand for you, like to expand yourself. So I see that, and obviously at a workplace that becomes an automatic thing as well. But it does bring a strain into your relationships now, because of being needed in different places, like to provide yourself or your comforts or your conveniences, for a lot of people. I do see that, and I also do see at this time that there could be some anemic things happening. So this becomes a tough period now for Libras, like the 5th and the 7th. And the 7th, there could be activation of anemic actions. And it could be, in the public sphere, if that's your place, or workplace as well. Excuse me. My voice is struggling now, and I think I'm going to have to stop at this point and just take some time maybe. But yeah, this period between the 5th and the 7th becomes critical for you guys, for the Libras at this time. I do see that authority figures, they could just be unfair at this time, like expecting too much or giving some commands that are just, they need too much sacrifice at this time. So for Libras, let me just stop here and rest my voice for now. So going into the global affairs, everything is alleged. This is just astrology. This is for research purposes only, nothing more, nothing beyond this. So what I do see is some military action, high military action at this time, particularly between the 4th and the 6th, which is like today, the 4th, until the 6th. There is a high command of military, and which is actually is going to go into the 7th. There's an arms are being carried right now, and there could be some small protests coming up from certain countries in support to Venezuela. I see that. So some countries could start now setting up those protests to show solidarity, not only in statements but also in action. So that is possible here to come. Now I do see that when it comes to Iran, from today until the 7th, it becomes a critical moment. They've been obviously for a long time now running their challenges as the leaders from the people, because of the laws, because this one has already been going on for a while, but some people have not been really reporting it, and it's been started to report. But now I see a critical moment rising, and I also do see that at this time there could also be some destructions of structure, whereby maybe the people who are in the protest, they are destroying the structure, or some structure is destroyed right now, like in terms of obviously protesting and all of these things, right? But so between the 4th and the 5th, there is definitely a foreign intelligence that is, surrounding the situation or observing it. They are watching the situation so closely, and there could be now maybe a decision that must be taken towards the Iran situation. So obviously highly likely the US now makes the decision known, as in not it's just speculation or warnings, but be decisive now. I do see that also at this time between the 5th and between this period of the 4th until the 7th, I mean the 5th until the 7th, not the 4th, until the 7th for Iran, they could also be, it's a destruction of a structure. And, it could also be literal destruction of a structure in terms of the power, not maybe a building, like I said earlier. It could be the dismantlement, the official announcement of the government being finally dismantled by the people. So that is possible here. I do see that when it comes to Russia, they are preparing, highly preparing right now, highly active, highly actionable at this time, and they are in talks with a certain country or certain countries in that preparation. They're keeping in touch with them. I do see that. And now between so the US from today 4th until the 5th, the US continues to send out communication by all means necessary, by action and by power, like by dominance. Like I said 2 days ago, that I was seeing the president of the United States of America wanting to be dominant or showing his dominance, which he did. He took over the Venezuela, and so I do see that continuing until the 5th. At this time, like that preparation of communications, action, but he's got Russia in the back of his mind. Like I said, I could see some information being sent to his people, so that it's showing now. Then then I think that's it, because I already spoke about the global part at the beginning of the video. So for now, that's it. All leaders are awake, expecting anything, preparing for anything. It's just that literally it's like the whole governance in the world is up in arms right now, like ready, preparing, ready. And what becomes clear now is that between the 5th and the 6th, a lot of them will be preparing, and then when it comes to the 6th until the 7th, a lot of them will be in action. So you're going to see a lot of things being done in different countries, responses, and of course some have already sent out communication condemning or favoring the action of Mr. Donald Trump and the United States of America. So this is showing, and without focusing too much on the other countries, let me end here because my voice is saying, girl, please. So I'll chat to you soon in a few days. Thank you. A beijo. Ciao.